Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey. How you doing? It's your sugar here. And all right, so sugar's late tonight, but y'all know what it is. It's Wednesday around 7:30, right? So you know what that means. That means the Natalie Sugar Brown show. Me and you. We meeting up and we talking women's boxing, or anything that has to do with the perspective of a woman boxer. I am Natalie Sugar Brown. I am a woman pugilist. I've grown up and become a woman in this game. So I've been there and done that. And this is my platform now to share that with you guys, as well as talk about the up and coming baddies that are out here. Um, so the platform, yes, the Sugar Show is about, and where it's here where we talk about women behaving badly. Okay, and it could be women behaving badly in any sport, right? But we want to talk about women's boxing, and like I always say about the Sugar Show, you don't have to know everything about women's boxing. You don't even have to know the names, right? The best kind of conversations are the conversations where we're teaching and learning from each other. I mean, we're teaching each other and learning from each other, right? So this is the conversation platform, y'all. Ain't no friends, ain't no buddies, but there's always respect for the gals that are out here behaving badly. Okay. So tonight's show is called The Art of War, right? Because I wanted to visit a part of sugar that is inspired by um, Sun Tzu's Art of War. I I'm not going to say that I read the book and know it word for word, but throughout my journey as a woman pugilist, okay, I've read many great works about generals and warriors and all of those types, because these things help inspire, right? It help inspire a fighter because they may be stories, but there are stories that connect with a lot of the things that we go through, and it coaches us in a sense. It coaches us mentally to be the type of intellectual warrior that we need to be in order to win, right? And sometimes the win is not when they raise your hand, right? Sometimes the win is when you lose. I personally would say that though in my boxing career, it wasn't many times, but it was when I lost that I learned the most. And it wasn't learning the most about fighting per se. It's learning the most about my character. It's learning the most about how I pick myself and dust myself off, how I believe in myself again, how I'm brave enough, or how I would have to become brave enough to face that thing, that failure, that you know blow that indeed made me have to think that maybe I guess I'm not good as I thought I was. And I mean, that's life. That's life, you guys. And that's what we talk about on the Sugar Show as well. But we're doing it with regards to the perspective of a woman fighter. Now, I love the Talking Fight platform, because you get all different types of perspective. And I just love that we have another female fighter who hosts her own platform, hosts her own platform, um, uh, Brooke DeJorf, because she actually interviews a lot of these fighters. Some I have so much respect for, and some it's just kind of uh, entertaining to see, you know, their story about maybe what you thought about their bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But it's a good platform, I guess, to also refer to when Sugar's talking her stuff. Because listen, I'm not going to tell you I know the names, numbers, and times, right? I'm a fan of women's boxing, but I'm a fan. I mean, I'm a woman pugilist. I'm a fan, but what I am truly about is the language that we speak, right? The language, and even facing a fight, getting, putting matches together. All of these things are a type of language that we speak, and very few of us can decipher it, much less uh, convey it to you guys out here that I would be quite entertained about the when and how women behave badly out here. I think they've done a crappy job so far in executing how wonderful and colorful this world is of women's boxing. I would like for them to, and wouldn't even have to be Suge. I would love for it to be Suge, but I would like for them to add some kind of knowledge, add some spice of people who know the game, right? Women who actually have been in there. They didn't have, the women who weren't the champions, but were the gatekeepers, the women who were the journey women, the women who were the paid loser. All of these perspectives are so valuable and interesting, right? More so, I would say more so than the guys, right? Because there was no, for us, there the road was not paved, right? And many of us are still paving roads. But that's the story. Women's boxing, we're always paving a path. There's no path that we are walking just yet, right? So, you guys who are uh, new to this, thank you for joining the journey and joining the ride. Those who are true to this will see and understand, um, and those who want to be true will see and understand what this language is and what it means and the culture of it, and just what we all want is the respect. And once we get the respect, right, then we get the money, right? Like my girl Lil Kim. First you get the money, then you get the power, then motherfucker will respect you. I think that's what she said. But bars, that's the truth. That's the truth, right? In anything though. But in women's boxing, like I said, it's an interesting story. So I don't know how long tonight's show is. I took last week. I had a lot of things that I had to do and complete. So Suge didn't have the show last night, and I mean last week, and I'm sorry about that, you guys. Life kind of gets in the way, right? So I'm hoping y'all are chiming back. Those who have, who keep up with me and watch your Suge, keep up with your girl, right? There are a lot of things out there that's worth talking about. Tonight, I'm just gonna share a part of, like I said, a part of my journey, because I think this part is what's missing now, right? And it's the brutal, vicious side, but that's what this is what everyone's paying for. So, lovely assistant, if you could share um my my clip here. Okay. So, can we pause it, lovely assistant? Okay. If you could put, I can't put my face side by side. Sugar, so Sugar's look. You guys are looking at the clip, and it's blurry. Okay, it's bad. Sugar, I'm low budget. I am low budget, right? Because I want it's more about the content for me. But trust, Sugar. One of y'all might give me a gift, right? And give me a better camera or whatever it is, so I can do these things, these vids and stuff better. But uh, I don't. I think there's still a bit of quality, right? So just listen to what Sugar has to say about this. I'm sure this is my. This is the last round of my last fight. Okay, and I'm fighting a fighter who is very. I mean, she's popular. She's made a name for herself. Fighting some other names out here. Um, this is Sugar versus the Cobra. Okay, so Natalie Sugar Brown versus Jessica the Cobra Camara. Okay, and this is the last round. Now I'm gonna explain to you what you're gonna be looking at. I couldn't. You guys, guess what? They flagging people left and right and left, right? And I don't know, just as a fighter, I've had my footage, and then sometimes it's just hard for me to keep up with it. So I couldn't find the actual fight without getting it off of the internet, you guys. But my lovely assistant will, is there any way that you can put the link up, lovely assistant, or put the link somewhere where my viewers can make reference to this fight that I'm talking about, that Sugar's watching right now? Like, let me know. But okay, before I keep the link going, okay, this clip going, a little bit of backstory of this fight. Now, and I should have had pictures and stuff up here. Sorry, you guys, it's been my apologies. Sugar had been in hiatus, or Natalie had been in hiatus for maybe 3 or 4 years, and then life happened, and so I was going through a really, really rough time with my own personal life and family. And previous to this, when things were going good, and Sugar was in a good place, and everybody knew it, people knew it, the phone wasn't ringing. And then, word gets out that Sugar's having a tough time, even though Sugar always needed a fight, or, would fight. Word gets out, and the phones are ringing, people are asking. So as a fighter, you think, okay, it'll be like the last fight, without the wisdom of losing, right? Without the wisdom that experience teaches, you don't know, right? You don't know where you are at in actuality, in preparation to face someone who has studied you, who, has seen your footage and knows your quirks. Um, you don't have someone to bring you back to understanding, understanding what you're facing. Right. So as a fighter, when you're starting to make, and Sugar, like I said, very hard time personally. So, I mean, and I'm sure you all know that my personal life did spill into my professional, where um, my trainer was also my husband. Right. So, I mean, these things are quite complicated. So, you guys click on the link in the description. Okay. And the link in the description will take you to this fight. Okay. And the fight wasn't very long, right? But I want you guys to look at this fight, make your observations, let me know what you think, and keep that in mind as I talk about, this match, right? Because this is a whole backstory, it's a whole growth story, um, and it has to do with boxing. So I'm going through a huge personal change in my family, my career, my life, and the phone start ringing. Where Sugar wasn't getting no call, line was dry before. So, in me taking on all of this, the phones are ringing. So I'm like, okay, fights are happening, right? I felt like I was smart enough to know how to negotiate for me to get the cheddar when when these other names are calling me, and they're calling me for um to fight, these rounds and things, and that. I'm like, oh well, I'm gonna need to get paid at this if I'm gonna fight. I wasn't gonna rob myself of a good payday fighting a name. um but then another name came across my my desk, um, Jessica McCaskill. So she had a record similar to mine, and coming out of um, I, I'm coming out of a hiatus. Record similar to mine, meaning she's not a name, and it seems like she has the a comparable amount of fights, um, and activity with respect to me coming out of hiatus. She would be somewhat good for me to fight, um, coming out of the hiatus, because I still may have an advantage in being the more experienced boxer. But everyone has a fighting chance, right? So, um, found some guys, right? Guys that I've known, but I said, I'll need help getting ready for this fight, and can I take, do you think I'm good at, I'm good to, we can prepare, even though the fight was given to me 2 weeks notice, but Sugar always stayed in shape. Right. So, the, that camp, they said, sure, Sugar, we'll help you. Right. I, I thought, I'm sure, I know what to do in there. I really just need someone to, you know, make sure I get back to my stool, and I need someone to give me water and about my, cuz I just need a corner. I don't need a corner, so to speak, right? So, um I said, this will do for now, and then we'll grow together. That's what I was thinking. It wasn't a disrespectful thing, but I knew I had to start over. Okay. So, Suge, for 2 weeks notice, I could do the rounds. I felt, and they were excited that, yeah, we were training, and to them should look good. But you have to be a real general. For what I realized, you have to be a real general to know when a fighter's ready, right? You got to be a real general with, knowing when a fighter's ready without any setups, without knowing that, oh, this person's tailor made for this fighter, things like that. You have to be a real general. You can't just, you can't, a coach can't just take a fighter into a fight. I don't believe that, right? And a fighter can't just walk into a fight. A fighter must prepare, whether it be, weeks or months or minutes. And it all depends on the context too, right? So from a trusted source, I got, like I said, I got the name Jessica McCaskill. Took the fight, lost, but it was my first loss, but I lost by TKO in this fight. And it was tough because I've never, not even, I sparred guys, high level guys. I've been hit before and I never dropped, right? But because due to the context of the situation and me making the weight and all of that stuff, it just made it, I was a different fighter, as I always say, right? The way you prepare determines the type of fighter you're going to be. Okay. So with the time and the preparation, sugar, it was not it for me. Okay. It just, it might have looked good to the untrained trainer's eye or the untrained coach's eye, but a real general would know, oh, this ain't the time, Suge. Anyway, I took the fight, went to Chicago, and me and McCaskill are going back and forth, boom, boom, back and forth. The only thing is, in the fight, I realized that I'm not recovering from attacks like I used to, or like I know myself to be. I'm like, it's taking me a long time to recover. Then next thing you know, I've dropped, right? And when you get dropped, you don't even realize you're down. Like, I'm like, the hell am I doing here? You know, so I get back up, get on my feet. The referee's trying to, count me or whatever. I'm like, no, I'm ready. Let's go. And he backs off, then he backs in and waves the fight off. And with my experience, I knew it was going to be that. Like when he did that, when he was counting, in my mind, I'm just letting him know, okay, let's go. The fighters have gotten dropped and the fight persists, right? She comes back in and I'm on my feet to try to exchange again, and he steps in and he stops the fight. Wow. I mean that, and then the auditorium erupts. Yay, because I'm in Chicago, Jessica McCaskill, yeah, and she got her people them that came, and I was the outside, I was the person that they brought in, right? So hard pill to swallow. Hard pill to swallow. And I experienced that whole thing by myself. That's the thing that really, that I think made me a lot tougher, because I experienced it by myself. So I went through the motions. At the time, I think Nate Campbell, Nate Galaxy Warrior Campbell, um, called me or messaged me and said, "It happens. You're a fighter, and it happens. It happens. Fuck it. You going? Let's go." Right. So, I questioned if it was me or it was time for me to stop, time for me to quit. Because like I said, I've never been on the canvas before, and I earned my keep as a fighter. Suge ain't never went down, right? So, um, which brings me to this fight, this last round that I'm about to discuss, and I hope as I'm rambling on, you all are also looking at the fight from the link in the text box, in the description box. Okay, for those who are listening, uh, you guys find the YouTube episode and click on the link and find the fight and look at it, right? So you kind of connect things as I talk, right? So now we come to this fight. And by this time, sugar, you get another taste, right? You get a taste of people who, yeah, are smiling because they're just so happy that happened to you. And then you have the people that are, you know, cheering, cheering you. Yeah, you know what? It happened. It happened, and you could get through it. You could still do it. And then you have some of the people that are saying, Shug, how old are you? And all of those people were right. I listened to all of them, and they were all right. Right? Um, I should stop. Those people that are happy, and that I needed that loss. I needed to lose like that, in a sense, right? Because I had lost the respect that this sport is not a game. Boxing is not a game for males or females, women. It's not a game, right? So if you're going to do this, you know that you're signing your life on the dotted line. Okay? This ain't no Super Mario. Oops, I fell off the cliff and I get to use one of my other lives. One of my, I get to start all over from the beginning. No, right? Um, as I've if y'all are following Sugar, you'll know I shine the light on that some of us go and we don't come back the same. Some of us women go into fights, and because a lot of these fights aren't popular, aren't spoken of, a lot of us get hurt, a lot of us die, a lot of us um don't come back whole, right? Because you're getting your bean knocked around, and if you don't prepare properly, you really get damaged. I lost the respect and understanding for that. So it happened to me, right? This thing happened to me, and I realized that's when I really realized my mortality as a fighter, my mortality as a woman boxer. Okay. Um, I have a child now, so it's like I can't at this point I'm a single mom, right? I can't come back with, I can't come back one eye shut and, and all sore and bumped and bruised up and then be able to go be a super mom the next day. You know, that thing hurts, and you know, you need time, you need support, you need all of that stuff. So I realized that. I realized that. Um, but I said, I gotta get back on that horse again. I'm gonna get back on the horse again. And I'm gonna do a better job riding. Yeah. I'm gonna ride the shit out of this horse, right? You know? Because I'm not finna go out like that. Not sugar. Not sugar. Okay, so now the calls are coming in, right? The calls are coming because out of nowhere, you know, Sugar got TKO'd by this upstart Jessica McCaskill, right? And this is the most ironic part of I think life is a very scenic vibe, right? Because I'm a, you know, I pride myself on being a good boxer and a good fighter, right? I pride myself on it because I've been taught by some of the very best, and I work really hard at it. And I was beaten and TKO'd by a fighter who still, she puts her head down and she windmills. You know what I'm saying? She just put, and you know, I'm in my mind, I'm like, I lost the respect. I lost the understanding that everyone has a fighting chance. And if that ain't life showing me, you know, Suge, don't play with me. I'm life. Right? Don't play with me. I will show you better than I can get somebody to tell you. I got beat, TKO'd by this broad that windmills, right? Um, so then, you know, the other group, or the other people, the other mouths that I was speaking to, they said, you know, Suge, it happens, shit happens. You're a fighter, you know, somebody's going to do it one day. You know, we don't all get out of here without anything. And then if you get out of the game, if you get out of the game unscathed, it's going to catch up to you outside of it, as you've seen with other fighters who were phenomenal when they were fighters, and then after their career ended, the um the the fighting and everything that they went through manifested into, you know, greater problems, diseases coming, you know, mental illness, things like that. So I I then like really understood what being a fighter is when I heard that. Just like, yo, it happens. My mortality now, I'm starting to understand my mortality, who I am in this game, who a fighter is in this game, right? The mortality is and I knew this, every day is not going to be a good day. Every day is not going to be 100%. But one day you might be one day might be the day that either is the last, or either that day that's going to change you. Okay, so the loss changed me, getting dropped changed me. I never been dropped, and me actually feeling now what I do to other broads in there made me realize that, wow, this shit ain't no joke. Like, this is what I'm doing to broads. Like, this is what I'm doing. Wow. It just like, even now think about it. The only way I can describe it is it's just kind of softened my brain, right? Because I'm an empathetic person as well, right? So I'm not looking at this other broad now like, oh, you signed up for it, so you gonna get it. I'm looking at this other human being like, oh my gosh, I I'm in here to damage you. I'm about to damage you, right? I'm about to do it to you. So in my mind, like, now I understand what my superpower as a fighter really is, right? That thunderclap. That thunderclap ain't no joke. If you can turn the lights off, if you can turn somebody's lights off, okay, that's a divine gift. So moving on, right? Like I said, phones are ringing. Oh, did I go over the last group? Um, where the so we went over the group that says, the age. We went over the group that says, oh, you're a fighter. That just happened. It just happens. Now let's touch on the group that says maybe you ain't got it no more. You should quit, right? And they were right too. I started realizing what this game is. And in order to survive in this game, you have to have, you know, you have to have your real team behind you. You have to have a real team behind you, right? And if you don't have that team behind you, you ain't gonna make it through this. So maybe you should quit. And I'm not telling you broads out here that don't have this lavish, luxurious situation. I'm not telling you guys that you need to have this formal team like how Ebony Bridges shopped around for a team, because I really didn't have that. I didn't have that. But the one thing I did have in my team is, whether they meant good for me or not, they believed in me. They believed that I had the potential to execute in that ring, and execution is what brings that cheddar in, right? Inside and outside the ring, right? So if you're with me and I got that appeal, you want to get something, right? So, this is just the word to the wise, to you broads out here that are up and coming. I'm gonna need y'all to get a team. I'm gonna need y'all to take inventory and know and figure out what your team is, and who's really got your back, right, on your team, and who's on your team, but you got to use them a little differently on the chessboard. Okay, art of war. Um, Sun Tzu in that art of war really opened my eyes to the layers of thinking that you have to have in order to be in combat and even enter combat. Give me 1 second, you guys. Where was I? Okay, sorry, you guys. So, yes, so they're going back to it, the layers of the thought process that you have to have, right? You have to know if you're the predator, if you're the prey, if you're the hunter, right? Because I mean, people will talk about predator prey. That's one relationship. Being a hunter to the predator and the prey is a total different relationship, right? And these are the thought process that you have to now have and understand in this world of pugilism, in this fight world, right? Because when you understand that, then you know how to play the game. So this time, went back, hit the drawing board. Somehow the universe brought the team together for me, right? Team Too Bad. They came together, and these are just unconventional people. The only general that was, that is the real life general is Coach Sir J. And I have his I can never I can never say coach's name the way it should, right? But I mean, I gotta, well, I think it's Coach Sergey. He's out of Toronto. Sergey Lituch or Litoch, Litoch. Okay, go down to Budo box and go down to Budo fight gym and find this man. That's where he be at. Okay, but I mean, this man is a true scientist and he went to school for this. Like, this man has a master's degree in teaching pugilism. Yeah, there is a degree for that. So, meeting him, and then I was able to bring other. I had an NFL linebacker, um, who trained me for my conditioning. I had Coach Sergey. I had a school teacher who was my marketer, did my marketing and styling. I had one of my bruiser, one of my students. I had a great mind, right? But I think his confidence, he needed to be a bit more confident, but his situation really was his own life situation was really hard on him, and that's why he took up learning how to fight with Sugar. But I thought with his great mind, he could put the whole thing together. So when the last fight came in, I had my team, okay, Team Too Bad. And what started the whole thing was this fighter who came, who tried to befriend me first. And Sugar's always friendly, right? But once I can kind of see intentions from a mile away now that I'm a old broad, right? This one, but I've been in the game so long, I saw what the intentions were. So this fighter contacted me, right? And they contacted me, but it was like on an unprofessional type of um, communication, right? So I didn't entertain it. Next thing you know, this fighter turns up in my camp, right? So this fighter's in my camp, and um, my husband is the trainer for the camp, right? So I'm in the camp with other fighters because he trains other fighters. This fighter shows up, and this applehead mofo didn't tell me. I'm like, you, right? So I said, okay, we want to see where this goes, right? So, a lot of shady stuff happened in the camp. Needless to say, when at the end of the day, we are women, okay? And when you're a women in boxing, you have to know that either you're going to do it the hard way, which you're going to fight for what you get, or you're going to play the easy way and shake your titties and your bitties to get through and to get the attention from the right people per se. So this fighter comes in my camp. She works hard. She's learning everything she can off of Sugar, taking Sugar swag, Sugar spice, right? But like the real Sugar Ray says, she would like Sugar Ray Robinson said, there's only one Sugar, right? So there's only one Natalie Sugar Brown, right? And that's all there can be. So this fighter comes, tries to take a lot of swag learned as much as she could. And next thing you know, I'm kicked out my own camp. Yeah. Which led to the personal issues and the personal problems and things like that. So it comes back around now because we are women behaving badly. And this fighter's name now comes across my desk. And this is after I've lost. I've gotten TKO'd. So when I saw uh, this contract, this challenge come to me, I didn't take it as, oh, this is a good fight. I took it as kind of like, this is now you want to twist the knife. Is that what it is? Because everybody knows who Suge is, because we're Canadian fighters, so everybody knows who Suge is out here, right? And everybody knows that Suge's queening out here. So now you want to challenge me because now you want to be queen. You want to take this. You want to take this title, this throne, in front of everybody. Okay. I didn't even look at the number because, as Ann Wolf said, I'd have fought this bitch for a cheeseburger. Okay? I signed the contract and sent it off. After I signed the contract and sent it off, I realized the mortality thing hit. Shit. Single mom. This is not going to be an easy fight because I'm going to give it to this broad. She ain't easy, right? You got to know what you're doing to deal with this one, right? But I got a vendetta, right? I gotta spin back on this hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the story I'm sharing to you, what this art of war thing is, right? Because this was war. This was war. This wasn't just about a fight. But understand this, you guys. Female fighter, boxer, male fighter, and whatever. It's not a fight. It's not just a fight. It's a war. And the fight, each round, contains many small battles. And each of those small battles, in each of those small battles, there's a strategy behind each battle that comes together, right, in one big odyssey, one big story that then unravels either who you are or the person in front of you. Okay? So I knew that this broad wasn't easy, and I took inventory of what my life was at the time, and I realized this is not going to be easy. And in order for me to get what I want out of this, I would have to prove a lot to myself before I even get to that ring. I would have to prove everything was a battle. I had to find the time to train. Right now, I'm a single mom. right? I had to ask I went and I told my child, I sat him down and I actually asked him permission to take the fight because I had respect for the game now enough to know that I was going to have to take and sacrifice not only from me, but take and sacrifice from my loved ones, especially the main loved one, right? And I have to I have to be aware of that, and I have to acknowledge to them that I am aware and ask them if I can have that time. Right. So I think it was a more I became I became grown in this month. Asked my coach, same thing. Speaking to Coach Sergey, right? I think I may be the first pro woman that Coach Sergey ever trained because Coach Sergey wasn't really into the girl thing, into the lady thing, female thing, right? The great general, but I think everyone's gunning for the guy, and he was a part of some really good camp. Usyk, Lomachenko, like this man. Uh, his other friend, Coach Sergey, was the head coach for the uh, Olympic team for Ukraine's Olympic team, right? So I mean, just some good knowledge, some great knowledge. So asking him ask him if you have time to dust me off and start me back up, and I think even he looked at it and he said, if you work hard, I'll be there. If you show me, you have to show me every day that this is worth it for me, because I'll quit the day you don't show me is the last day that we work together. Okay, nodded my head off on that. Same thing with my um, NFL linebacker um, coach, conditioning coach. Had to promise that I would be open minded enough to do the work that's put in front of me and trust in my conditioning coach that he knows enough to teach me and how to prepare me to send me into battle. Had a total different respect for it. It was so spiritual, right? So at fight night, you guys, it was different. Fight night, I felt like win or lose, I won. I you know, I battled and I I tamed every obstacle that was in front of me, because each day was an obstacle, each day, and that just made me stronger and stronger, and it just made me a better it just made me a better person every month and day. Y'all don't that's the thing, like people take drugs, they do all they have these, getting better every day. Do you know the high that is? Do you know how high you get off of that? Somebody chiming in. All right, we long into the show, but thank you for coming in. Cowboy 0505 says hello. Well, hello, Cowboy. Thanks for chiming in with Sugar. Sharing about my last fight in connection to the art of war, right? Because in that in that novel, The Art of War by Sun Tzu, um, I I refer back to that because Shun Zoo never talked about actually throwing a blow or, actually wounding uh, opposition. Sun Tzu talked about more of the mind and the spirit in that novel, which a lot of us take for granted. Like a lot of, and it's not the mind or spirit of, I'm great, I'm good, I'm this and that. It's spirit is the connection of everything. Spirit is we are all connected. We are connected to everything. Right? So um I think that's what the art of war touched on. So I'm explaining what the art of war, how this influenced my last fight, my last professional fight. So Cowboy oh 05 says, "Okay, are you a fighter? A professional fighting woman?" Well, yeah, I am. I'm not active right now, but I have been, and yeah, you could Google me, Natalie Sugar Brown. You can see what the numbers and the specs are. Natalie Brown Boxer for Wikipedia, right? So you could see, who I am, and this is my platform in sharing a lot of insights of what a professional fighting woman is. Cowboy oh 05 says, but looking like a model. Hush. Ah, thank you. Listen, I love being called pretty, right? But listen, cowboy, you looking at one of the baddest that ever did it, right? I am a woman that behaves badly. I am a fighting woman. Yes. And so, I mean, I look pretty. I guess I look pretty now, right? I always wanted to look scary, right? As a fighter. But I'll take what I got. So if I look like a model, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Cowboy. You have such a cute name too, Cowboy oh 05. Where'd that come from? Listen, because cowboys, they got that reputation. Cowboys is sexy. Um, Cowboy oh 05, D Live thumb up. Okay, I'm a fighting woman. Um, Cowboy oh 05 says, I am from Austria. Hey, so thanks for chiming in from Austria. I'm over here in the US today. I'm over here in the US, so thanks for chiming in with your girl Sugar. Press that like, subscribe, and share button. Please support your girl, Cowboy. It don't take too much. Just press that like and subscribe. Uh, right? And so you can always chime in on a Wednesday night and get some more sugar, right? And talk to me, just like how you're talking to me now. Um, yeah. So I appreciate the love from Austria. Okay, so yeah, I'm here at the point I'm talking about. This is on this side on my what's the side that you guys are looking at on the screen. Okay, so on the left side right here, um, you guys are looking at just a clip of the last minute, I think, of the last round of my last fight. Okay, and I'm gonna get to playing that. But getting up to this point, like I said, before the fight, and Cowboy oh 05, there's a link in the description. I would love, love, love it if you pressed on it and you watched my fight, right? You can watch this fight. So, yeah, and I acted a little crazy, okay, but the high, right? So, um, walking into this fight this time compared to that fight with Jessica McCaskill, um, was different. I didn't feel alone. I didn't I I I didn't feel like my 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 corner was just a corner. I didn't I had a different respect and connection with what was going on. The people who showed up for Sugar, I looked in every face and in every eye I could, right? Because and I was and still am so grateful, right? Sugar always loved her fans, but the depth of how grateful I am for them um, has really magnified, even now. So and my respect for women's boxing ran so much deeper because of this. So it's a blemish on my career path, on my record, that what happened. That fight with Jessica McCaskill, but not only was the fight, it was a total life change, right? I went through a divorce. My family was being split. I had to fight in court for custody of my child. Things like all of the, it the universe showed me um, in so many ways that what I have is not something that is owed to me. Is something that I have to work on and be grateful for every day, even if it's not the thing that I think I should have, right? That's what I learned. That's what I've learned, right? So, you know, if I was to do it again, I can't say I wouldn't do it that way, right? Other decisions could be made, but I'm I'm not I'm not sad, I'm not upset, I'm not hurt. I'm okay. I'm so okay with you know the way things turned out. People come to me and they say, you see these broads that you fought, right? And they weren't nothing compared to you, Sugar, but look who, like, they getting it. They getting it, right? They getting it in boxing, I guess. They getting it in boxing, I guess. But this life thing outside the ring, this life thing that I'm living with, you guys, it's invaluable. It's invaluable. No belt, no amount of money can compare or is worth that. So I'm okay. But not to say, Shook could use Shook could always use some paper, some cash, some cheddar, some opportunities, right? So don't count me out. Cowboy comes back in and says, I find this white Natalie Brown versus Ingrid Hayes. Oh, you found that? You found me. So that's one of my comeback fights earlier in my pro career. Have a look at that. Ingrid Hayes, she was a crone at the time. And she tough lady. Tough lady. Taught me a damn lesson in that damn fight. Um and I That's another one. Thank you for looking that up. Thank you for bringing back that memory, Cowboy 05. So you'll see who Natalie Brown is, and you'll see I may not be all that pretty in that fight. Cowboy 05 says, perfect fight. You did it. D Live thumbs up. Okay. I'm not sure what that means. The D Live thumb up, Cowboy 05. Tell me, break that down for me. But thank you for looking at that, Hunty Bun. Yeah, so that's your Shug. Right now, I ain't going to. Like I said, I've had some good days at the office, and I've had some bad days at the office. Right, but I'm so grateful for having the opportunity to show my ass in the office. Right, so, um, we're about to play this clip and I'm about to wrap it up, y'all. Yeah, this gonna be one of them short shows because y'all know, sugar shows go like for 3 hours and so. And I got my Austrian hunted cowboy chiming in. Oh, I got me a cowboy tonight chiming in and making me feel real good and pretty. Thank you. Um, yeah, so tonight, like I said, the universe just kind of always shows you, um, it, it kind of always shows you what you should be, what you got, right? And what you should be valuing, right? Because all we have is here and now. That's really all we got, right? So you guys take inventory of that. So going into this fight with Jessica Camara now was the upstart. Okay, she went and took my damn team. I told y'all I got kicked out of my camp. Yes, y'all. She has my ex-husband was training her. Yes, sir. My my ex strength and conditioning guy that I brought into the game start training homegirl. I said, "Oh my gosh, I just this bitch done came in my house and kicked me out on the front porch naked, wearing my dress." Mm-mm. So I come back and she went and made it. She went and took her ass to Montreal now, and she even had Mary. I'm talking Mary. You know which Mary I'm talking about? To Mary, right? Um, Mary and her husband Butch are great figures in women's boxing. I grew up with them. Mary, girl, Miss Lady. I can't even say you know I'm bad with names, and I ain't even finna butcher your name, but we know you, Mary. Okay, has taken some of the most iconic images of women's boxing history. And I think she should be acknowledged for that. And if anybody has ever acknowledged you on a platform, just know, Mary, we don't get along all the time. I love you, girl. And I really appreciate what you and your husband have done, what you have done, what you did, and what you're doing. Even though I ain't appreciate you getting behind this trifling broad that I'm talking about, but I guess it's the business of the game. And I think from what I see, she gave you she stung you and Butch over there a little bit too. Cowboy05 says, I can't believe you were a boxer. You are too pretty for this brutal sport. Thank you. Thank you, Cowboy. Thank you, Cowboy. And you keep putting this D live heart. I don't know what that is. Baby, explain that. But um, I used to hear that a lot too when I was a fighter. Then Cowboy05 comes back talking about D Live heartbreak. Who done broke your heart? It certainly ain't gonna be Suge, right? That don't uh be nice. Just be nice. Be nice, and I won't have to break your heart. um, I used to hear that when I started becoming a woman, right? Because when I was younger, I had this baby face, right? So none of my opponents took me seriously. I remember one time weighing in, and this one, um, you know, she was really masculine, um, broad. Said, who I'm fighting? I'm fighting this little girl. She looked like a little girl. She a little girl. I'm gonna whoop her ass. And Let me tell you something. She shouldn't have said that, right? I showed her this little girl can be very scary, and you don't want you you wouldn't want to see the scary side of little Too Bad, right? But because they used to call me Too Bad, um, yeah. So I showed her what this baby face could do in the ring. Um, I used to get mad because I always wanted to look scary, much like this broad I'm talking about, Jessica Camara. I gotta tell y'all the story about that because, you know, to me, this fighter had great potential, but because of, you have to be what you can't just look like a fighter in this game, right? Meaning you can't look tough, right? The muscles got to be the muscles aren't just muscles. The muscles are a result of a lot of things, right? If you got muscles because if you're showing muscles because you've starved yourself, well, that's the type of energy you're bringing into your fight, right? And a starving fighter ain't despite what y'all think, a starving fighter or a fighter that has starved themselves has only helped their opponent um, be victorious over them, right? When you neglect yourself, you're only helping your enemy. And that's what I learned too in the art of war, right? I mean, y'all take that book in, right? When they talk about sacrifice and all of that stuff, I'm sacrificing. You guys don't ever get them words twisted. You can sacrifice something and be content, right? That's just we have to start understanding the context of these things, right? So in my fight that I lost with Camara, and I took the connotation of all of these things that I took separated me from the understanding of what I was in. And what I was in is the life of a gladiator. I was an active gladiator, right? So, I even did the research on gladiators, right? They were treated well. They ate well, right? It wasn't that Russell Crowe thing that you saw. Russell Crowe was actually not Russell Crowe in you guys watched that movie Gladiator. Russell Crowe was what you would call like the B-side, the opponent brought in, right? He was captured and put into slavery and made to fight because he was going to be like meat, just like how these girls are out here with the 4 and 40 records and they're getting put in against these A-side named celebrity fighters to get slaughtered. It's the same thing. Watch Gladiator. It's just that now, watch the movie Russell Crowe. They didn't know that he was actually a top tier general. That was a general in what was like the main man to one of to a king. A king respected him over his own son, right? So, I mean, I love that movie. Wicked movie, right? um, those movies speak to me, those type of warrior movies, right? So um boxing learner comes in. Salute boxing learner, how you doing? Thanks for chiming in the Shug. What you doing out there, boxing learner, right? Well, tell me what you're doing. I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing. This platform, the Natalie Sugar Brown show, is me, Natalie Sugar Brown, woman pugilist, I'm a woman boxer. Okay, and I'm on my show every Wednesday night at 7:30 over here Eastern Time, USA. Um, we sit here and we have a conversation. You get to, or I get to have a conversation with you guys, giving y'all the perspective of a woman boxer, a woman fighter, a woman who was a young girl that grew up in the industry of women's boxing. So we talk about all different types of things, right? And you don't have to know names, you don't have to know the numbers, the records, or anything like that. We're just having a conversation. Now, I have some wonderful people that chime in regularly at times that are great. They give me the numbers. They give me they 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 give me the facts. They give me the pseudo facts, and we can talk that talk because Sugar knows the game, right? But anybody, right? I also got people that just love Suge, and just like how Cowboy '05's giving Suge a chance, just like you boxing learner, y'all, just like you, I got the people that's giving me a chance to talk, right? And I could teach you something, and y'all could teach me something, right? So Cowboy '05 comes in and says muscles and hormones are there in this sport. Cowboy '05, muscles and hormones. Yes, there's a lot of muscles and hormones, but are you also referring to performance enhancement supplements and drugs? Is that what you're referring to, baby? I think that's what you're referring to. Boxing learner comes in and says, watch any good boxing content. I'm gonna say yes, I have. I like to watch underground um fighting, and I've come across the tent fighting. There was like a traveling tent uh, uh, fighting platform where this man, I think he was down in Australia, did it just like how they did it in the olden days, and was traveling about in different places in Australia, setting up his tent. And he had his fighters that would fight the baddest mother in each town. And I like that, right? Because some towns had that bad mother, that bad broad, that bad bitch, that bad brute that whooped on his tent fighter's ass, and then there was some towns that, that tent fighter tap danced all upside her or his head because he thought that they not as bad as they thought they was. So I'm just like my grandmother Ruby. Okay, my grandmother Ruby. Okay, she's a fighter. She was a fighter. She loved fighting. She used to watch wrestling like WWE, roller derby, all of that stuff. So that's where Suge gets it, right? Um, that she's my spirit animal, right? You think I am beautiful, or you think Cowboy '05, you think I am pretty? That woman, beautiful inside and outside, right? I can only hope to be something like that in my lifetime. So yeah, that's where I'm coming from as far as boxing content, boxing learner. Look them up. I think it's called tent boxing. Yeah, something like that, right? So that's that. I'll share it on that, right? And like I said, they did it like the olden days. So you're talking about they're picking, and this is the female segment of it. They're picking women out the damn audience that you would think she's gonna fight. She wants to fight. She looked like like she'd be a secretary at a corporate office, or she looked like some, a kindergarten teacher or a mom, and these women are raising their hands like, yeah, I'll fight, right? That type of content that wakes something up in me, because right now in professional women's boxing, it has gotten so cheesy that, these broads that have done everything that they could outside of boxing to get in the situation that they're in are getting spotlights when the real, women's boxing is still suffering, right? Our culture is dying because of this, right? And the true culture of women's boxing is women behaving badly, right? And where women behave badly may be at a bar, may be at a tent, may be in a barn, right? May right? There's not only one way, right? So there's, I was an amateur. I was a that's where I made my name as an amateur Olympic level boxer. I was on Team USA and Team Jamaica, right? I was Team Jamaica at the World Championships, the only Jamaican, right? So, because that's where my family's from. And I claim it. I'm Jamaican with a little American and some Canadian too, right? They love sugar everywhere, and I love that. I like that. But the culture is of it is dying, and that's where I'm coming from with this Art of War story, right? Or Art of War episode. But I'm sharing just one. I'm sharing one part, the last minute of my last fight, right? Um, and it, going through this journey as a woman fighter, it has been so many lessons, so many wins, so many losses, and the losses and wins aren't the obvious, right? And back in the day, when you had the old fighters and the old trainers sitting in the gym while you're training, and they're telling their stories, and they're handing little secrets down, because that's the only way we would learn. There's nothing you can't learn. These new age trainers, they don't know shit about boxing, like how Uncle Roger used to say, right? Because you learn boxing from being in the kitchen. You learn boxing from sitting with the old generals, right? Say there's Mr. Plenty, still down there in Atlanta. I think he's in his 90s, right? He was in the gym with me. When I was young, he was an old man then, right? Sharing stories, showing me secrets. That man uppercut me one time, showing me how to sneak in the short uppercut, things like that. They're lost. There's nowhere for our storytellers, our historians, our cultural keepers to share this knowledge anymore, right? And you got a lot of these fake boxing knowledge people with blogs and vlogs and videos and podcasts talking that bullshit, right? When the real stuff is when y'all need to go to your local boxing gym, go to your local fight hub, and just sit. You learn a lot. You'll hear some great stories, and not even stories, some great facts, because whatever a person lived, that's a fact. Cowboy '05 says, "You are by far the most beautiful boxer I have ever seen." Cowboy '05, you're gonna have to show up every Wednesday now. You can't do this to me. You better keep coming back, right? Cowboy '05. You can't keep doing that. You can't keep making me feel good like this and then don't come back. Cowboy '05 says, "It costs overcoming someone KO to beat. This is difficult." Yes. Yeah. Um, it is. It overcoming a KO that you've received, or a technical KO that you've received. Damn, it's you have to look at your own self in the mirror, right? Who can you blame? But that's life. We've all fallen on our asses. We've fallen on our asses, right? That's a KO. We've been dropped on our face on that life on that canvas, with many such a heartbreak, financial ruin, losing your job. Things, those things, it's still a fight, still a situation. And you got to climb out of it. Look at Shook. I've been homeless. I've flown in private jets. I'm up, I've been up, I've been down. But Sugar was always around. Meaning, I always tried to be the best person I could be in the situation. Now, I'm not coming with no toxic positivity, because I hate when some mofos talking about, you gotta look at the positive, you gotta look, and I'm like, there's some bad shit happening to me. I can't, like this. It's bad to me. I can't see positive, right? I'm not coming with the toxic positivity. I'm coming with any situation that you can learn from, even if you got the egg yolk on your face, is positive. Because once you've learned, you do better, right? My grandmother and the old people say, if you know better, you do better. That's a fact, right? When you know better, the more information you have, the better decisions you can make, right? So if you learn how to lose, right? Or if you learn how to lose, damn, you'll know the winning is easy, right? Oh, Alistar Overeem, hey, chiming in. The best jerk chicken and oxtails I've ever made by Jamaicans. All right, so you like our jerk chicken and you like oxtail. You've been in some good eating, haven't you, sir? Or ma'am? Or whatever you got going on over there. Alistair Overeem. I can't see the picture, okay? But it looked like you've been in some good eating. Jerk chicken and oxtail. Those are one of those are one of my favorite, a couple of my favorite dishes, right? I'm raised by my Grammy, right? So you don't even know about the dukuno, and you don't even know about the porridge them and all of that good stuff. So that's all I got to say about that. But listen, you chiming in. Guess what that means? Like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. And guess what? Alistar Overeem. I'm hoping. I don't know where you at. I don't know where you at. But I'm hoping one day, cause my sister was just my sister was just going in on me the other day, because my sister was like, Shug, you need to do a cooking segment, because these people out here don't know that you can cook, right? Why? Because you want to say you too hard to you want these people to think you too hard to put your damn foot in a pot. My sister. Anyway, yeah. So, Mr. Overeem, um, maybe one day we get together and she'll make you some jerk chicken and oxtail by a sweet Jamaican gal like me. Boxing Learner says, yes, I argue a lot of fake boxing gurus. They got everything to say out here, boxing learner, and don't know a damn left hook from a fish hook. And I'll go in and I'll tell them, right? That's why, Sugar, if you're a guest on Sugar show, like you you're the real deal. I don't let the smooth taste fool you. I know Cowboy '05 is on here, and he done let the cat out the bag. I think I'm pretty, right? So um don't let the smooth taste fool you though, right? In order for me to have stayed or come out of it like this, Sugar had to be a bad bitch, right? So yeah. um I didn't play, as y'all gonna see, because I'm gonna share this clip real quick. Y'all let me go and come. But oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun. I love that y'all are chiming in from all the way over Austria, y'all. Right? Oh, I love that. I love that. When I come to Austria, you gonna come see me? Right? I want to meet all my people, all my misfits, all my people that chime in. Right? When I go to these different places, I'm gonna make the announcement, Sugar's in the place. Come see this face, right? Um, so Cowboy '05 talking about very happy. About what? What you happy about, Cowboy? What are you happy about? Huh? I'm happy that I got you here all to myself on this Wednesday night. Boxing Learner says, me too bad. I hope you're talking about Miss Too Bad. I hope you're talking about Miss Too Bad, because that's me. And the thing is, my grandmother used to say this too. Your real name is the name that your peers give to you. That is truly a gift. The gift is the name your peers give to you. And the people, not me, the people call me Sugar. They also, when I was young, I was a little scrappy little broad, called me Too Bad. And then when I grew up a little bit, they call me Miss Too Bad. Oh my gosh. Like, I feel so fly. I feel so cool, right? Because these names were, except for Sugar. Sugar is still a Sugar is still a very prestigious name to be called, especially in boxing. And they call me that. But also, just for a grand group to call you Too Bad, right? Or to call you Sugar is, that's like, I wear it. I wear it on my forehead. That's like my badge, right? Because it's not only do I talk about it, I've been about it. Well, I was about it before I got a chance to get on the platform and talk about it, right? So yeah. Um, oh, Boxing Learner cause Miss Too Bad. So you corrected it. Thank you, baby. Yeah, I'm Miss Too Bad. You doing some homework over there, ain't you, Boxing Learner? Yes, this Miss Too Bad. Ask me something. Ask me. Cowboy '05 talking about you are. I forgot about what I am what. Cowboy '05 said, yes, I hope you're talking about yes. You'll come see me when I come to Austria. Anytime I come to Austria, you gotta show up on Wednesdays, right? So we can develop a relationship. You can't just disappear and think you want to show back up. I don't do that. I like to keep in contact. um Cowboy '05 says, writing you makes me happy. Oh, well, thank you. Talking to you on this live makes me happy, Cowboy '05. I it really does. That's why but you can't do this to me and not come back on every Wednesday night. Because I'm going to be here every Wednesday. Um, and if I'm not, I'm here. I'm going to be here on the next Wednesday. I've been doing it. I've been doing it and doing it and doing it well too, right? But I've been doing it for a while now, right? So just know shoes here. Um, but let's go into this last minute of this last fight, right? So, because I was Sugar go there and come back, right? So I'm coming back to the story, y'all. So this prospect Camara, she after she was a catalyst in teaching me a whole lot of stuff. She comes back, right? It's like the universe brings this story back, and I decided to take the fight, the challenge of the contract with her. And it was a shitty contract. But this fight, I mean, the fight wasn't about money. It wasn't about any of that stuff. It was about, it was my, when you get to I'm a video game. I used to avidly play video games back in the ancient time when I was a little girl. And, there was always a boss at the end of a challenge, at the end of a board. And I think like Camara was the boss, right? She took my whole shit and my whole shine. And I said, if I'm truly, let's see if I can beat the boss. If I'm truly if I can beat this level, right? So it wasn't that I thought that she was better than me or that she could beat me. It wasn't that. This fight was that this new kid on the block thought that hard work was for chumps. Yeah. Right? Because she copied my paper. She took the answers off my paper, and she came up and she was the right. You think I'm pretty? Now, a lot of people was shook. It shook off of Jessica Camara. Look her up. She's attractive, right? And then she thought she was just going to take. Oh gosh, y'all see a spot on my shirt. She just thought she was going to take the whole pie and not even leave me a slice. Very selfish. So, Coach Surge devised a wonderful plan. And I fought the plan at first. Yeah. Because I was used to thinking with one layer. I'm one layer thinking, right? One layer thinking. And I'm quoting movies because these movies are like some wicked movies, right? Another movie this movie, Usual Suspects, right? One of my favorite movies of all time, right? Of all the times, Usual Suspects. That's who kind of Coach Sergey reminds me of Kaiser Soze, right? Because Coach Sergey is a happy-go-lucky guy, very, very cute, handsome, cute old man. I'm not saying old, but like older man. He got the white hair, but he keeps himself nice, and he has this cute accent, and he's just such a positive, nice guy without being toxic positive, meaning that he'll say, yeah, he's good, it's like it's good, but that's some bullshit. It is good for being bullshit, like he was stuff. But then when he got to teaching you and talking, he didn't play. Understand that there is truly a method to the madness. So the strategy was based on what everyone was thinking. So at this point, everyone, because of how I lost against Jessica Camara, everyone thought Suge was washed up, right? So it was just the crows are circling, and it was just a matter of time before I just, the right youngin would come and clip me again, right? And yeah, Canada was just a scene that, it they Canada loves women's boxing, I would say. They when I started amateur boxing, they were more advanced than us. And those girls actually were boxing and knew how to fight. And a lot of the Canadian fighters, like, I wouldn't say, not for like Lisa Brown, uh I mean, low key Jelena Merjinovic, even though she she got taught very well. Milan taught her very well. Um, so I'm not going to take it from her, but she's a rich girl, so she had the money to pay her way too. Um, Goodness, I mean, yeah, Lisa Brown, but we had so many other awesome amateur and professional women's boxers, and the names escape me because I'm just on this story tonight. But I mean, who else? Um, Mauricia Shaw? No, Mauricia Shaw was not Canadian. Goodness, Vaya Zangus. She was a great fighter from Canada. Um, Goodness, this one fought Eva Brown, Eva Young, and she was a great fighter. What's her name? Goodness. Um, Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna have to Google this because I gotta give this one her flowers. Um, Eva Jones. They call her Black Magic. Um, Back in the day, she was one of my favorite fighters. Um, and this Canadian fighter fought her and was just Margaret Sidorov. That's her name. Like, she's changed it now because we've all got married and grew up and stuff like that. But Margaret Sidorov was one of Canada's best women's boxers, along with Lisa Brown and all of them. Um, I got some people coming in. Cowboy05 says, you boxed against Jessica Camara. Jessica Camara is not as pretty as you are. Okay, so now Cowboy05, now you my lover. Okay, you done, now you did it. Now you did it. Right? Now you did it. You can. And we not breaking up neither. Okay? You did it. Thank you. It's always good like, come on, like, it's always good when you got somebody that just um shows you adoration, and I love that. Cowboy05, thank you. Boxing Learner says Bree Howling is on her way to being a great boxer from Canada. Okay, well, that name doesn't strike me familiar now. She must be sub 10. Boxing Learner, can you give me her record? Can you tell me what her record is? And it doesn't matter if it's a winning or losing record. I just want to know how many fights she's had and what her experience looks like. Cowboy05 says, oui, oui. Yes, oui, oui. Yes, baby. Um, so yes, getting back to the story. So the story, so basically, yes, Jessica Camara was supposed to come and dethrone me, and I'm there fighting. No, I'm not dead yet, and Boxing Learner says Bree Howling. And Boxing Learner, can you give me her weight class as well? Tell me what her weight is. Um, so Boxing Learner says Bree Howling is on her way to being a great boxer from Canada. Her record is 5 wins, 0 losses, and 1 KO. Okay, so the five leads me to believe that she's been in some um greatly matched good matched fights to help her develop. The 0 losses leads me to believe that she is doing what she needs to do to progress and to pass the 5 challenges that were put in front of her. And the 1 KO lets me know that she's a little dangerous. She might have some pop there, right? Because it's knocking someone out who's in shape and who's been working out and eating well and doing everything they're supposed to do. Knocking somebody out like that is very hard, right? Um, so sounds like this young boxing learner says that she is super bantamweight. Okay, and that's a good weight class to be right now. It's getting spicy in regards to that. We got a African gal who is coming up, and she's what is her name? I just saw her. I just kind of gave the rundown of all the top 10 baddies in each country on one of my earlier episodes. Y'all should check it out, right? Because it's not about all these celebrity fighters now that, oh, you just know their names. It's about all of us and what we're doing, and there are women who are the baddest bitches in their country, and they need to get the spotlight for that too, and they need to get the notoriety for that as well. um let's see. Oh, so I'm looking up, um I want to look up who this, well, anyway, super bantamweight, that's, I think, Sinesia Estrada's dimension. She may be a little lighter than super bantamweight and stuff like, but I think Sinesia Estrada should move up to that weight class because she's one of the baddest gals out. I have no doubt that Bree Howling can be a great boxer. It's for her to prove it now, right? Boxing learner, 5-0 is good, right? But I always say this: I don't acknowledge any fighter, especially a woman fighter, unless she has gotten to the 10 mark, right? 10 fights lets me know that you're committed, that you're in it, that you've been on the ride enough and enough many times to know that you're going to you're going to try to be something in this, champion or career loser, but you're going to try. You're not just using this to because you think it's a hot meal ticket. um so going back to this that I'm about to show y'all, going into 2 hours, y'all, over a 10-second clip, I think. So going into this fight, I felt great, and it wasn't feeling great physically. I felt great spiritually as a person. I became, I think it just came full circle. Um, for me to, I learned exactly who I who I am. I mean, I'm a work in progress still, right? I'm still a work in progress. Trust me. But as a fighter, that was when I had actually reached croneship. I was a crone, but not all crones have reached the croneship of being a grown ass woman in there and win, lose, or draw, showing the world who she is. And I was I was blessed enough to realize that in this last fight. Now, um, like I said, Coach Sergey, who Kaiser Soze from the Usual Suspects says, Natalie, why you fight? Why do you fight them? You are old. I said, I'm not old, Sergey. He said, you are old, right? He said, I am old. And I said, yeah, you're old, coach, but I'm not old. Right? But he said, you're old, but you show them what old your old is. You show them what old Natalie is. And he made me realize that, you know, the worst thing you could do for yourself is live up to someone else's expectations. That's the worst thing you can do for yourself, because you've limited yourself to their understanding of you, their perspective of what you are. When you, in yourself, if you put your mind on anything, trust me, right? And use your powers for good. But if you put your mind to just about anything, you can achieve it. You can. You can, you can, you can. I'm living proof of that. I'm a result of that. My most favoriteest woman in this world, my grandmother, Ruby, right? Born loser, orphan. Mom left her, right? Went through life by her, pretty much by herself. Had her baby when she was a baby. Had 12 kids. Abusive relationship, loving relationship, abusive relationship. And this is where all the people around her, right? Death, birth, all of that stuff. But she had nothing to begin with. And she ended up being, to me, one of the most wealthiest women I've ever known. And I've known some wealthy women. Why? Because she was, to be honest, when my grandmother decided to, when she transitioned, when she decided, when she passed on, I think she decided that she was gonna pass on, right? She didn't let nothing beat her. She got sick, bounced back. She bounced back from a lot of things, right? So, you know, she taught me, she taught me, you know, being wealthy, being rich ain't about just money. But going back to this now, um, this fight, this clip. Um, so Coach Sergey helped me understand that sometimes what you think, the things that you think about somebody will be the thing that they use to defeat you. So you should always give a person the benefit of the doubt. Okay? You should never undermine or underthink a person's capability. Okay, so when I understood what Coach was saying, I said, okay, Coach, while they think that Suge's old and she's going to retire Suge going to show them what old really is. So, in the fight, now I'm going to bring y'all into the mechanics and the strategy. Oh, but before that, Cowboy05 says, Jessica Camara has money. You have more valuable because you speak with heart, mind, and love. Thank you, Cowboy. Cowboy, are you saying this just to be nice to me? Huh? We just met. I thank you. Thank you for acknowledging that. But we won't go back to this, right? So I'm in the fight now. Now Jessica has been in camp with me. Jessica has trained with me. So Jessica knows that I hit hard. Jessica knows that I work hard, right? She's learned a lot from Suge. Okay. Um, but Jessica also knows that when it's time to fight, it's you against that other person. It's me against you and no one else. So this dance, this conversation, this physical conversation can get really deep because I'm gonna hurt you and you gonna hurt me, right? But we're gonna stick there. We're gonna stay committed to this craziness until we figure out who's gonna win tonight. And I was willing to do that. And it looks like she was willing to do that too, because she sent me the challenge. Boxing learner comes in, give me 3 diamonds being dropped. Okay, I'm dropping jewels, right? Dropping jewels anyway. So Jessica knew what she was up against, right? Everybody else had their idea of what they were up against. And Sugar realized that she was going to have to prove what sugar is all over again, right? She's going to have to show them what old is, what a crone can do, and not to underestimate age, right? Age is actually a value, right? If somebody can keep doing something and they're older, it ain't coming easy to them. They're working. They're working harder than that youngin'. So you might want them on your team because you know they're working and you know they're committed and you know that they're studying. Um, so like I said, in the fight, first round goes, right? And coach is telling me to make her feel, give her confidence, right? She's scared. She's scared. Give her confidence. Make her feel like she can touch you. So she comes in. I don't throw nothing. She jabs, I jab her back. Boom, boom, boom. But I let her touch me. Right? So she felt like, all right, I can hit her. So now she has confidence. She feels like, hey, I hit her once, I can hit her again. I'm going to hit her again after that. Bing, round 1 ends. So I guess according to the judges, Jessica won the round. Okay. Now, she's confident. She's coming to me. She feels like she can hit me. Okay? So, half the fight is won for me because I don't have to chase her. Right? And a part of my problem as a fighter is I'm a better hunter. I'm a better hunter. Right? And as a hunter, to me, I think it's crappy when I have to chase what I'm hunting, right? I'm kind of like a Venus fly. I like the Venus flytrap. I stay there, right? I stay there and I let you, I let you play around or whatever. As soon as you touch, I got you. I got you, right? I'm clamping you, right? So round 2 comes And now Jessica Camara is confident. She's hit me a couple times. She's ahead on points. Her corner has told her she's ahead on points. She's going to come at me aggressively, right? My corner is saying, okay, now you've got the momentum, right? Now let's set up the second layer. Now let's get her to throw. But what we want her to do is we want her to throw one shot so she forgets about her being open for the shot I need to throw. This is like the Coach Sergey, right? And this is what I'm not seeing in women's boxing. I'm not seeing the setup. I see it in men's boxing. I don't see it in women's boxing. And this, I mean, I was hoping that, you know, I could stay in the game long enough to do this, to keep doing this, but I just, it just never connected, right? But now, not only is she confident and she's chasing me, now she's throwing shots and she doesn't realize that she's opened herself up for me to place my shot, right? So this is this clip is the clip that shows that, and this clip is this clip that shows the setup and just the execution of a great performance in both fighters. So, lovely assistant, you can play this, right? Lovely assistant, are you there? Please play the clip now. I know you've been waiting and waiting. Lovely assistant. I know it's been long. Okay, so here we go. All right, so Suge, she's throwing. You see her throwing. Suge got her throwing, and then she, boom, plants and steps right into the shot that I want to line her ass up with. And you see her there. And I mean, minimize, lovely assistant, can you run it back just a little bit? Run it back, lovely assistant. I want everybody, take me down a little, take me down small. Lovely assistant. Lovely assistant, come on now. Don't let me down. Now y'all gonna see, you know, y'all are watching me go crazy, because what it is that's the high, the Super Saiyan moment when, you know, all the power comes. Robin Rivers. That name sound familiar. You've been on my show, Robin, before. Saying, come on, Mike. Robin, you know Mike, because you know Mike chimes in. Mike ain't coming tonight. Robin, thanks for chiming in on the Sugar Show tonight. You know, I'm on here. I think they put it on autopilot or autoplay, but I wanted to run the clip back to show, you know, the execution of landing the shot. Run it all the way back. If y'all gonna run it all the way back and minimize my head, if you could do all of that, because I want the peoples to see the entire clip and just me. All right, so run it all the way back, baby. Now run it all the way back. Run it all the way back. Run it all the way back to the beginning. Oh gosh, y'all gonna see the Sugar act. All right, so you see Sugar. She's stepping in. Now I got her stepping. She put her full weight in, clap. I landed that punch and pivoted out and watched her. Watching her trying to find the floor that's under her. Right? So at this point, it's like, you know, when you pop, that sniper land, you know, makes that shot, that lethal shot. And so I'm walking around. Yes, I'm doing this whole Super Saiyan thing. And the thing about this part of the clip I wanted to show was it wasn't even about the fight, right? Everybody from in their seats ran down around the ring about this fight because it was just so much like I mean, people have seen clips on it and on my social media and stuff like that, but this is also something that they've swept under the rug. See my son in there crying. He was crying because and I asked him why he was crying. Everyone, after the fight, I'm hearing there he's in the yellow saying, yeah, O's crying. I'm like, what the hell was he with my baby? Who done did something to my baby? You know, um, but he was crying because the whole thing, you know, touched his heart, and he saw how hard his mom worked, and he saw everything, and he was a part of the sacrifice of this moment, right? Maybe there go Coach Sergey with his fun, he married y'all, but yeah, that's my coach. That's Coach Cannon with the glove. So that's Coach Sergey on the left, and that's Coach Cannon on the right. And that's my people that was left over. Like this girl Camara had a whole bunch of people. Like she had she had a whole bunch of people. She had the place on lock. I would say, should a lot of people had you know, wrote Sugar off for dead. So those people that you saw in the audience that was around the ring was my tribe that was left from the hype. And it's my last fight to date, right? I mean, I've gotten some propositions, but for Suge to go back now, and you hear how people calling me pretty now, right? And they ain't even calling me Suge. They not just calling me Sugar no more. They calling me Juicy, and I don't know why. Why? So you see, I done got all soft. My bones done got all soft, and I think I'm liking this. So I don't know if I don't know what price would get me back in the ring, because I still love I still love a good rumble, right? But I'll say this. Um the stories, that's just one story, and I'm glad that y'all chimed in to hear it. um like, subscribe, and share. I'm gonna go back and shout out my people who came in. So Cowboy 05, I hope you like, subscribe, and share, because I think I got a crush on you now. You just talked me right in. You just talked your way right into my heart tonight. I also want to give shout out to Boxing Learner for checking in and giving me the 411 on this up and coming fighter. I hope there's women um there's a women boxing segment by Michael Orr on Fridays on the Talking Fight platform. I'm gonna have Mike check this Bree Howling out and see what she got going on, because Mike is always, and I love this about him, is always featuring young female talent out there, which he loves it. He got time, right? So I love it too. I ain't got time for no wet nosed little broad, but you know what? At 5-0 with 1 KO, looks like she got a good start. So yeah, Boxing Learner, thank you for chiming in. Uh, let's see who else we got. We got Robin Rivers. Okay, so Robin Rivers chiming in. Thank you, Boo Boo, and thank you. Talking about common Mike. Okay, but thank you for chiming in, baby. D Garcia. Now here you go. You are coming in the last. Hi, D Garcia. Nice fight. How long ago was that? I think that was it was some time. 2018 was my last fight. And the thing is, it wasn't that I didn't want to keep fighting. It was that when they saw what I did to Jessica Camara, the phone stopped ringing again. See, because that's how that goes. I Michaela Meyer had reached out to me, but they wanted to do the okey doke. They wanted to run that okey doke on Suge, and I had already learned from the Jessica McCaskill fiasco, bull jive situation that I will no longer cut weight for nobody. Right? How I fight is how I'm gonna fight because Sugar has already established herself. You're not going to suck me down to skin and bones, and then been training for me for months, and then run that game. It's not going to happen. So Michaela Meyer wouldn't accept the weight that I told her, that I negotiated the fight at. So that never happened. It didn't come. Um, it didn't happen. Layla McCarter reached out to me, but Layla McCarter, not only she's not just a crone, she's a dragon. And Layla McCarter, she tried to give me a 2 week notice fight. I'm like, child, please. You know you a dragon out here. You know you a legend. Ain't nobody gonna fight you 2 week notice. And I find it disrespectful that you would call Sugar like she's a two week notice opponent to fight you. No, boo boo. I'm still the star of this show. I love you, Layla, but I think I'm too fine. I'm too fine for that bullshit. Um, and then Callie Reyes came with the same type of deal. She wanted to, of all the years and all the times that I was open to fight Callie Reyes, which I think would have been a great fight between me and her. Um, she she waits until I'm well into hiatus, and she wants to offer me 2 weeks notice to fight her, in a fight. No. These shenanigans are the things that stifle and choke women's boxing, because Suge is a great contender and was have always been a great contender. And Suge could have made a lot of y'all money out here, right? Win or lose, we could have grown this game together, but it y'all y'all don't see the forest for the trees just yet. So okay. Um, so my time, my time in the industry as a fighter, it's I may entertain it, I may not, right? I still train, I still do what I do, I still love it, it's still a part of my life. But my time taking bull crap, I'm a crone now. I'm a crone. Been there, done that, wore the t-shirt, had it ripped off of me, and now I'm walking through the crowd with my titties out. Cause I don't care. I'm proud. I'm proud of exactly who I am. I don't need no cover. Okay. And on that note, okay. Um, oh, sorry. And I finished it. My host says Mike knows about that new broad in Canada. Okay, well that's good. Mike know everybody. Um, but yes, on that note, been there, done that. We're the t-shirt. You know the spiel. Like, subscribe, and share. Right? Sugar's here every Wednesday night. Unless I say ain't no show, right? But I've been consistent. Check out my earlier episodes, okay, you guys? And check out my people that keep the culture up. I name drop, I'm trying to keep this thing going. Like, subscribe, and share. Okay. And there's always the guys panel on Fridays. And sometimes I drop in with Champ Tim Witherspoon, Graham, Mike, and them, and we have a chat. Also check Cedric, um, Cedric Sports Trainer. That he has a segment on Sundays, breaking down scorecards for a lot of these recent boxing matches. So we got a lot of stuff, good stuff going on Talkin' Fight. Like, subscribe, and share. I love you guys. Cowboy 5, what you saying? Um, Cowboy oh 05, have you ever had a man KO beaten? I don't know what that means, but I'll tell you this, okay? In the ring, I have sparred men, right? And I've sparred men who were intimidated by the fact that they're in there with a woman, and if they get hit, now their manhood and all of manhood, must be defended, and they're trying to kill me in there. And then I've sparred men who were um secure enough in themselves to actually give me a beating, but also teach me within that beating, and to learn and overcome a lot of things, right? Because sometimes it's not beating per se, they're beating on me. Sometimes beating on me is showing me how rough it is in the ring, showing me that a fight is not fair. There's no such thing as a fair fight. So if he headlocks me and I can't breathe, I got to fight my way out of it. If these things, right? Um, Grateful to that. I sparred nothing but men when I first started boxing, because I'm a member of the earlier generation of women boxers, right? The earlier generation of women boxers with an amateur background, right? Because we've had different generations. I'm a part of the first generation of women that were trained within an amateur boxing system. I have been world silver medalist. I've gone to the world championships. I've been the world silver medalist. Yes, ranked number 2 in the world 2 times, right? Arina Sinetskaya out of Russia. She just had the system. So yeah, that's me. That's your Shug, right? So yes, I've been in there with men. I've outboxed guys, and guys have outboxed me. It's just like I said, when you get in there, and Christy Martin said it, after a while, I don't want to just be looked at as a woman fighter. I want to be looked at as a fighter. Because I am a fighter. You're not looking at me that I love being a woman fighter. Yes. But I want you to see that I'm a fighter indeed. And that's what it's all about. Um, Us as women in women's boxing, we need to get to the point where we are upholding a standard, a culture, an understanding of what our value is, and therefore we protect each other, we support each other, we make sure each other can take care of ourselves and get paid out of behaving badly. So like I said, you guys, if y'all don't catch me on Friday on Champ Witherspoon's um Tim Witherspoon's fight panel, the fight panel show, um chime in next Wednesday night around 7:30 my time, and uh get you some of this sugar, okay? Until then, I love you guys. Stay safe out there. Like, subscribe, and share, okay? Till then, bye-bye.